welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dogara and I make realistic travel content. I spent the last 6 months touring and living in 4 African countries, and in this video we're going to talk about how much it cost me to live in South Africa for 2 months as a Nigerian. From flights to food to transport, and I'll give you a tour of the Airbnbs, which ones to stay at and which ones to avoid. So kindly subscribe if you haven't already. Don't let anybody lie to you. Traveling is expensive. You're gonna spend some money. But the good news is it's probably not as much as you thought, because in my experience, most people mistake traveling for vacationing. There's a big difference, a big financial difference. Now bear in mind some of the prices may vary because I wasn't traveling from Nigeria to South Africa. I traveled from Rwanda, which is relatively closer, and the ticket from Kigali to Joburg costs around $295. If you're gonna do that from Lagos to Joburg or Cape Town, the flight tickets are around $700. Now, these prices are for return tickets. That's for your coming and going back to your country. Because if you overstay and they catch you, shipping you back to your country wouldn't be on them because you paid already. The visa application costs around $25 for Nigerian passport holders, and it takes about 3 weeks for a decision to be made, either approved or denied. I applied, but I got denied because my bank statement was a requirement and I wasn't in Nigeria to print it out. They didn't accept the e-statement. So if you're gonna apply, don't make that mistake. Print out your statement and scan it. It has to be stamped from the bank. Saves you a lot. I got denied. I now had to use an agent, which cost me a total of 900,000 naira. The requirements with the agent were just passport and yellow fever vaccination, but here's the full requirement if you're gonna apply via the e-visa portal. So for food, on this trip I found out that Nigerians are called the orphans of Africa because our country has abandoned us and we're everywhere. So it's not so hard to find Nigerian food, and funny enough, it's not as expensive as Nigerian food is in Ghana and some other countries, and even Rwanda. So a plate of rice in restaurants like Wakanda, that's on Uber Eats, costs around 160 rand, which is maybe slightly above the price of food right now in Abuja, because I think a plate of rice in Abuja costs around like maybe 8,000, I'm not sure. But that's the range. But I didn't really eat that as much because I cook, and most of the food stuff are around the same price range in Nigeria, except yam. Yam is ridiculously expensive. It's like 25k for a tuber of this size. So I didn't really put down a figure, but I'm just giving you an idea so you know what to expect. But if you cook, it's a lot better. And I also tried a lot of their food, so I found 1 or 2 that I could be eating on regular, so I didn't have to spend so much money on food. But yeah, around 150 rands per plate of food. Transportation is reasonably priced. I would give that to them, because the most I ever paid for an Uber was 276 cedis for a 2-hour ride, which is cheaper than Lagos and most countries I've been to. So when I say Cape Town is not as expensive as people make it seem, I actually mean it. Now I don't know about using their public transport as the buses, and I don't know. I have no idea. For the apartments, I wasn't really looking to save money when I was booking it, because I just wanted to experience as many of them as I could in different parts of the city. It's always cheaper if you book long stay. Like if you book a month, you get a discount because it is termed long stay. But I had a couple of apartments I wanted to stay at. There was one particular one that was a big mistake. I'll show you, and I'll also give you a tour of some of them, starting with this one. Before going to Cape Town, we got this Airbnb at Park Central in Johannesburg for $80 a night. We paid for 3 nights, bringing the total to $240. Bear in mind I was with my friend, so we split the bill down the middle. That is $120 per person for 3 days in Johannesburg, South Africa. After a couple days, it was time to pack up and get ready for a flight to Cape Town. The flight cost $65 per person, and we arrived just in time to check into our next apartment. Now this was my favorite one. Even though it cost $70 per night, if I was a solo traveler, this would be ideal. But we're two guys who don't cuddle each other, so we had to stay here for just 3 days before packing up and moving to our next apartment. At this point, I was already tired of moving. We found this 2-bedroom apartment in Woodstock for $110 a night, and we stayed here for 3 weeks before packing up to our next apartment in Wex 1. Now, Wex 1 is an extension of Nigeria. If you're in Cape Town and you're feeling homesick, just take a trip to X1 and I'm sure you meet enough Nigerians to make you feel at home. We got 2 separate apartments at $1,100 a month, which covers electricity, water, and your internet. One thing Cape Town doesn't lack is activities. You could spend a whole year there and you're still not exhausted all of it. Okay, maybe a year is dramatic, but you could spend a long time, like a couple of months, and you've still not done all. So for most of my activities, I used Get Your Guide to book everything. So I'll also attach a link in the description somewhere. But I used Get Your Guide and it was pretty easy, and most of them are reasonably priced. I'll let you be the judge of that.
So now I would like you to all pick up your glasses for me, okay?
So this is just a rough estimate of what you would expect to spend in Cape Town. I'll be honest, I didn't really take this trip as a content creator, but I just had to put all this information out there to help anyone who is trying to be on the same type of journey that I'm on, which is to live my best life. Thank you to everyone who has been watching and supporting. We're still far from 100k, but we're getting there. So if you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button and share it to a couple of people, because we need to be at 100k by next week Thursday. Okay? Thank you.